How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some spicy high elo battles featuring a pretty cool core breaker in the Retro Cup, and that is Bewear. Now, Bewear, it's by no means one of the top PvPoke picks right now. You guys probably haven't seen one, but what makes this thing pretty decent actually is, number one, its very unique moveset, and also its very unique typing. And what I found basically is Bewear on the lead, I was just getting a ton of awesome leads because there's a ton of normal types out there, lots of Lickitung leads, lots of Dubwool leads I was finding, and then a bunch of Frostlass lead, a bunch of Cresselia leads, and then if those Pokemon weren't on the lead, they were in the back. And oftentimes full teams were just completely core broken by Bewear because we can hit the normal types and the Aurorus for super effective with the superpowers. And then we can one-shot ghost types with the payback. We can do massive damage to the psychic types with the payback and the shadow claws. And I was just finding that so many leads were basically just staying into the Bewear, despite the fact that they were in a terrible matchup, just because they had no idea what to do when they saw it, basically. So, should you use the team? Maybe not. Try out Bewear if you just want to have some fun. Maybe you'll find that you succeed with it like I did. I did actually manage to climb from like 28, 30-ish all the way up to 29, 24 with it. And again, I was not expecting to do well with it. I was just kind of having fun and just happened to core break a ton of teams. And you guys are going to see that here. So, going to be a little bit more chill video because again, I'm not sure that you should use this team. It's definitely not as good as my last team, but more so this is going to be some very fun high-level battles in the higher 2800s and into the 2900s with a kind of uncommon pick. So we're going to get into it here. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the battles. It's going to probably be like a 25-minute video, and as you're seeing already here, we have a Lickitung lead, and the Lickitung is staying in to an absolutely horrible matchup, and they let me get off 2 superpowers before they throw. So now they're going to be forced to shield, and now I can bring in the Frostlass because really the goal of this team was to get shields off the opponent on the lead with the Bewear, and then give a shield advantage to the Frostlass in the back. Because as you guys know, Frostlass is basically the queen of these limited metas. If you can give Frostlass either a shield advantage or an energy lead, it's basically going to just sweep teams left and right. There's just not a lot of teams that are prepared for a Frostlass with shields or energy, and the opponent brings in a Toxapex here to the Frostlass. It really isn't that good, and we just basically force them to throw all their energy, and now we can come in with the Jellicent here, fully wall them, and farm up to basically 100 energy here. So we're going to take them out with a Shadow Ball, and since they had a Lickitung on the lead and didn't switch out, I'm fully expecting that there's going to be either a Ghost type or a Psychic type in the back to cover that Lickitung's weakness to fighting, and they shield the Jellicent as well. So now I save the Jellicent, I bring in the Bewear, and just show me the Frostlass. I know there's a Frostlass back there, just show it to me, and it's a Cresselia. And as you're about to see, Cresselia is a very bulky Pokemon, but it does not want to take a payback from Bewear. That does huge damage, and Bewear is actually going to farm all the way down, and basically that was a simultaneous KO there. We still had the Jellicent alive, and we had a shield, and that's a GG, so good game there. As you see, Lickitung and the Cresselia core there just completely core broken by the Bewear. And again, next battle we have another Lickitung lead, and they're staying in. And this time they actually do throw, which is what I want, really. What I want is for them to throw first before I debuff myself, because then I'm not really forced to respect a non-debuff body slam. Or excuse me, a body slam when I am not debuffed. And the opponent there just elects to fully let their Lickitung go down. And they have a Cresselia here, so I'm already expecting this to be a very similar team to the last battle. And again, all I really care about here is getting myself a shield advantage for the Frostlass in the back. And the opponent does shield the Shadow Ball. And now I'm going to be fully happy here to just let my Jellicent go down and save both shields for the Frostlass. And at this point, I think I was expecting it to be either a Frostlass or a Defense Deoxys, because I did see quite a few either Psychic Ghost backlines or double Psychic backlines, and I don't have to shield that move there, but it's actually a Dunsparce, so this kind of took me by surprise. This opponent was actually running ABA normal typing, so not really what they would do, sure what they would do if they had like a bulky fighter lead. They probably would just have to stay in, I guess, with the Lickitung and Psychic, but here I recognize that Bewear could tank a move, and now Bewear's going to get the last shield off of the Dunsparce, and I think that despite the fact that Dunsparce does pretty well against Frostlass, Frostlass with 2 shields here is just going to sweep this back line. We should outpace them before they get to another move here. And then the Cresselia did bank some energy, but I don't think that they're going to make the back-to-back Grass Knots before I make a Shadow Ball here. And I think the opponent recognizes it here and they surrender. Yeah, they do surrender. So GG there. As you saw, 2 Lickitung leads, and both of those teams were fully core broken by the Bewear. And again, another normal type lead. This is actually not that good. Dubwool is a little bit scary because it can do pretty well with the double kick damage on the Bewear, and they are double resisting my my super power, or my Shadow Claws, excuse me. And here, I actually called that they're going to bait, and they're actually on Wild Charge, so really glad I didn't shield that. I will shield this one now because it probably would just about KO, but I did get my Frostlass and Energy head start, and I'm going to get this last shield off of the Dragonair here. This Dragonair's actually not that comfortable for this team. Dragons in general are kind of sketchy for this team. If you see like a double or triple dragon team with this team, you pretty much just lose. I did see that a couple times, and the heavy fast move pressure is just pretty oppressive for this team because Bewear isn't the bulkiest Pokemon around, and obviously Frostlass isn't either. So yeah, if you see a bunch of dragon types, definitely don't use this team. But anyway, I did let the first Night Slash go. I shield the second one. We're going to take out the Dragonair here, and we just have to hope that their back line does not want to see our Bewear, and they do have a Jellicent in the back. And I bring in the Bewear instantly there, thinking it would draw back out the Dubwool, and it does, and we one-shot them with a superpower. And now, since Bewear still had some extra energy, we actually CMP tie them to the payback, and there are just very few Pokemon in this game that can nearly one-shot a Ghost type and one-shot a normal type on the same moveset. It just really doesn't happen that often. So we take it out, and now Jellicent's going to farm down before they make another move, and that's going to be a GG. So sorry for all the extra sniffling in this video, guys. I know I say it pretty regularly. I haven't said it in a little while, but whew, it's rough over here in Ohio right now, guys. It is the pollen bowl of the Midwest for sure. But anyway, another Dubwool on this battle, and this opponent does not respect the superpower, and now we're going to make a savage catch of the Body Slam onto the Jellicent. That does absolutely nothing, and they have an Oranguru in the back, and I actually found that there was quite a few teams out there in the high, like, 2800s that were running triple Confusion, and oftentimes 2 of those Confusion users were the normal Psychics, the Girafarig and the Oranguru, and that team is just absolutely terrible for this team. I think I did include a couple losses at the end of this video, and you're going to see me just get completely slaughtered by a triple Confusion team in this video. So yeah, if you're wondering if I show losses, I absolutely do show losses. Lately, I've just been putting them at the end. That way, you know, if you want to see how to use the team, you can just watch the wins. And then if you want to watch the whole video, you can see me getting absolutely wrecked at the end of the video. And yeah, you will not be disappointed. I get completely outplayed in a couple battles here at the end of the video. But we take another pretty difficult team comp there. I don't believe it was double Confusion in that game, but we take the dub. Next battle, Shadow Dragonair here. Shadow Dragonair, again, the dragons aren't really the best for this team, but we can force a shield here early from with the Bewear, and then I will bring in the Jellicent just to absorb the damage, and the opponent is not throwing. They build up a ton of energy. I think they bank 2 moves there, and then they switch out, and it makes sense because typically the Dragonairs are going to be on Aqua Tail and Body Slam, and they would be basically fully walled by the Jellicent in terms of charge moves, so I understand why they bank the energy for later. And then they bring in a Cofagrigus, and I forced their last shield actually with the Jellicent, and now I'm going to be perfectly content here to just take this thing out with Bewear and give my Frostlass a 2-0 shield advantage, because again, there are just not many things that want to see a Frostlass with a 2-0 shield advantage, and I'm thinking they're probably going to be bringing in their third here, and they do. It's a Defense Deoxys, and now the opponent is going to be in a world of hurt here because they do not have a lot of energy, and Frostlass is just going to absolutely destroy this Defense Deoxys. Now, what I'm recognizing here is that Shadow Dragonair has 2 moves banked, so I don't actually want to shield these moves from the Deoxys. I call the Psycho Boost, and I'm actually going to no-shield the next Psycho Boost, and I'm not going to throw because I know that if I throw, they're going to come in and Dragon Breath me down with the Dragonair. So I actually wait for them to come in before I throw any energy. They come in, and then I Avalanche them, and I actually 2-shield flex on that opponent there, so crazy win there. Another Shadow Dragonair lead. We're going to play it the same exact way. We're going to stay in here, superpower this thing, and then dip out into our Jellicent probably. And that's going to be... and the cat's in the background just like living her best life back there. But yeah, I think they're actually staying into our Frostlass here, and I think that they just let me farm them down here, if I remember correctly. I think I just commit to the full farm down at this point, and at the last second they switch out into a Buzzwole, so massive respect to this opponent for running the Spice, but unfortunately for them, they are about to get absolutely swept by our Frostlass here. Shadow Ball's probably going to be just about one-shotting the Buzzwole here, and yeah, this is just going to be a GG. I think that the opponent stays in, and then once they see the Jelly, they just rage quit out of there, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. So honestly, it's kind of funny. In the higher elo ranges, you don't see a lot of people finish battles when they know they're getting wrecked. I do the same exact thing. There was a couple battles where I just knew really early on that I was definitely not going to be winning, and I just top left. But that happened quite a bit of times where I don't even get to see the opponent's third mon because they just top left as soon as they see that I have like a Frostlass with energy or a Jellicent with a shield. So in this battle, we have an Aurorus lead. I did see quite a few Aurorus leads, and this opponent actually goes for the Meteor Beam, which is kind of a smart play, honestly, because I did know that I could live a Weather Ball, but I think that a resisted Meteor Beam probably still does more than a Weather Ball, so if I would have no-shielded that Meteor Beam, it might have actually one-shotted my Bewear there, but I get both of their shields with the superpower, and now I bring in the Jellicent here, and since they're staying in with the Aurorus, I'm expecting that the Bewear is going to have a lot of play in back, and sure enough, there's the Cresselia, so this is probably going to be the very common line of either a Aurorus on the lead with a Cresselia Frostlass in back, or Aurorus on the lead with Cresselia and Altaria in the back. I saw both of those teams quite a bit, and Frostlass, again, with energy is going to be the win con here. And do I still have a shield, or did I use my shield? I don't have a shield, but I do still have Bewear as well for a potential catch if I need it. And what's their back mon going to be? It's a Defense Deoxys, and yeah, there's just absolutely nothing that they can do here. Even if it was an Altaria here, Frostlass was easily going to sweep this anyway. They switch back into the Aurorus there to reset their debuff, but yeah, then they surrender, realizing that Frostlass is going to destroy this back line. So another Aurorus lead here in the next battle. This opponent I actually played 2 different times, and his team unfortunately just gets beat by my team. He actually plays this really, really well. I kind of played this match like a potato, but I end up having a pretty nice comeback at the end. So again, this time the opponent doesn't go for the Meteor Beam, but he is going to force some shields off of me here. But really all I care about, like I said, is getting both of their shields and then giving my Frostlass a shield advantage in the back. So we're going to get the superpower off. We do get their shield. I bring in the Jellicent here, and the opponent makes a beautiful play here. He reads me like a book. He catches the Surf onto an Altaria, and this is the team I was talking about earlier. Aurorus, Altaria, and I believe there's probably going to be a Cresselia in the back on this one. And since he caught the Surf, unfortunately, I'm going to need 2 more moves to KO because Surf just doesn't do enough to KO, plus 1 Shadow Ball. And what you're going to see here is I'm actually not going to take him out here. I throw the Surf instead of the Shadow Ball because I don't want him to take me out, or I don't want to take him out and then have his Aurorus or his Cresselia come in and get an energy head start. So I actually throw the Surf. I allow him to take me out, and then I come in with my Frostlass and get a 1 Powder Snow head start, and then I call a savage bait call there, and then I'm going to 1-up it and make a nasty catch onto the Weather Ball here. And I know the opponent's going to undercharge this. Very nice undercharge there, but I'm going to come in here and win CMP now to the Avalanche onto the... I think he was at the Meteor Beam there. Win CMP, take out the Aurorus, and sure enough, there is the Cresselia in the back, and we still had a shield, and that is going to be a GG. So I believe I have even maybe 1 or 2 more Aurorus leads, just because I was seeing this over and over again in the 2900s, just Aurorus lead after Aurorus lead, and they were always staying in because they were just fully core broken by the Bewear on the lead. They do Weather Ball me. They are going to throw on CMP to my superpower here, so I'm going to be forced to shield the next one, but again, like I said, I'm just going to get a shield advantage with the Bewear, and then I'm going to bring in, I think, probably the Jellicent here. I waited 1 turn there just to make sure they didn't catch, and now we're going to be bringing in the Jellicent here. And if it's the same team, I'm imagining they'll probably try to bring in the Altaria, but we'll have to see. I can't remember. This could be the one that had the Frostlass in the back. I don't remember. I did see a mixture of either Altaria, Cresselia, or Frostlass, Cresselia, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Also, in other news, I am having my tonsils taken out tomorrow morning, so I will probably be pre-recording another video for tomorrow, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to commentate for a couple of days after I get these tonsils removed, because for those of you guys who are non-medical, your tonsils are in the back of your throat, and It apparently is, for adults, one of the most painful surgeries and one of the hardest recoveries as an adult, just because it's like 2 massive wounds in the back of your throat. And yeah, I'm not really seeing how I'm going to be able to shout at my computer in the middle of the night in my basement if I have like massive wounds in my throat. So we'll see. We will see how much content I can get out to you guys here in the next few days. But wish me luck. It's going to be a 2-week recovery off work, which at the very least, that means I don't have to go to work. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm not looking forward to it, I have to say. But maybe it will make my congestion a little bit better. We'll see. Probably not. I'm not going to get my fingers crossed here, but who knows? Anyway, I don't even remember what the lead was. I think it was a Toxapex lead. And the opponent here has a Frostlass. And I think the play here that's going to win me this battle is calling this bait here. We're in the 2-2 shield. Frostlass does outpace by 1 turn to the Shadow Ball. But I knew there that I needed some sort of advantage. So I call the bait there. And it ends up being an Avalanche. And they have a Chestnut in the back here, which is not one that I saw very often whatsoever. And this is actually kind of scary now for my backline. But I think if I can get their shield here with Bewear, I might be able to sweep his team with my Jellicent. We'll have to see. Very nice timing here. He throws just before I make the superpower, and we do get taken out by the Frenzy here. But now, what I'm recognizing here is I have to overfarm enough to where I can take out the Frostlass. But I'm also recognizing there's a possibility he may try to catch, so I don't throw there. I'm going to rewind this just for a second. I wasn't planning on this being a rewind video, but I've mentioned this before. When you're running a 3-turn move into a 2-turn move, the correct timing is going to be to throw 1 fast move and then your charge move. And at high elos, opponents are always going to be expecting you to throw on good timing. So what I'm recognizing here is I'm going to have the energy for my Shadow Ball as soon as my Hex goes through. I will have the energy for my Shadow Ball, but the opponent knows that I'm probably going to try to throw on good timing. So I was expecting him to let me do 1 Hex and then catch in the middle of my Hex. Because as you're going to see, that's how I normally would do it. I would throw 1 Hex and then the move. So I throw 1 Hex and the opponent perfectly switches there. But since I recognized that, that actually allowed me to overfarm enough and basically come out of this with 100 energy. And that's going to allow me to one-shot the Frostlass with the Shadow Ball and then one-shot the Chestnut here with the Shadow Ball. And if I don't overfarm perfectly there, then the Chestnut probably outpaces me to another move and I lose that battle. So very good game there. I believe I have maybe 1 or 2 more wins and then a couple just brutal losses at the end. So Jellicent lead. I did see a couple of those, but Jellicent just wants no part of the Bewear whatsoever. Surf does not even do half on a Bewear. Even though we're fairly glassy, we can still take 2 Surfs from full health. And the Tropius safe switch here really took me off guard. I was thinking, why in the world would you safe switch a Tropius with like every team basically having a Frostlass? Because as you see, I can maintain even shields here, and I farm them all the way down. I come out with so much energy, and the opponent has a Regirock in the back, so I'm not really sure what they were trying to lure out with the Tropius safe switch there. Because if they're trying to lure out the Frostlass, which they did lure out, I was expecting there maybe to be like an Altaria in the back, or maybe another grass type, but a Regirock, yeah, just the team doesn't really make a lot of sense. And unfortunately for the opponent, if you use a team that doesn't make a lot of sense in this cup, sometimes you're just going to get completely wrecked. As you're seeing there, Bewear is going to just one-shot this Jellicent and nearly farm it down, and then Regirock's going to get super powered. And again, Bewear showing that its moveset and coverage are very nice in the Retro Cup. So we take out another team, and I believe now we have our last win of the video, guys. Again, sorry for the commentary. I'm just not really feeling super great with all my allergies and then having surgery first thing in the morning. It's like 10:30 at night, and my surgery, I have to be at the hospital at 6:30 in the morning, so I'm already preparing to like not sleep at all. But I guess you don't really need to sleep because you're just going to be going in and being put to sleep with anesthesia. So anyway, I don't remember what the lead was. I think it was another Jellicent lead, and I think they safe switch into an Altaria. So not sure why opponents are safe switching in the 2900s into things that are double weak to ice. So I think at this point, I definitely was expecting there to be another flyer in back. Because again, why would you safe switch an Altaria unless you're even weaker in back to ice? I don't really know, but the opponent is just in a really rough spot here. They give up both shields here, and now I think I'm just going to give both of my shields to the Jellicent, because there's just not many things that want to see a Jellicent with 2 shields. Even if they had a Lickitung, I think even a Lickitung probably loses to Jellicent in the 2-0 shield advantage. But I do have to commit 1 shield there. I wait a turn just to make sure they don't catch. We're going to Shadow Ball the Jellicent. And what do you think's going to be in the back, guys? There's the Frostlass, and that's a GG. So, we've seen Nerds Rising get some nice wins, and now it's time to see Nerds Rising get absolutely slaughtered. We have a Zangoose lead. Very, very spicy pick by the opponent. This thing does slightly outpace us if they bait. And here I was just like, don't shield it. It's going to be a bait. Don't shield it. And I shield it, and it's a bait. And unfortunately, now that he's baited me, he will outpace me to the close combats. And to make matters even worse, I throw like a potato into a Hypno. That's a debuffed superpower into the Hypno. He makes a beautiful catch. And at this point, I'm thinking, Shadow Hypno, it's probably going to be double punch, right? Jellicent can take a Thunder Punch. Well, they nuke me with a Shadow Ball. And at this point, we're looking really rough. We can't really come back in with Bewear because Shadow Confusion will just absolutely decimate us. And I'm realizing I have to bring in the Frostlass, but still, the Shadow Confusions are just completely chunking our Frostlass. They do, at the very least, let their Hypno go down, but they're just going to come back in with the Zangoose and get more energy. And just to put the icing on the cake, they catch the Avalanche onto their Frostlass there. Absolutely savage play by the opponent. He was basically just toying with me at this point. I already knew the game was probably over, but just to make matters worse, they catch my move. My only win con at this point is if I somehow live this Night Slash, and I don't live it in. Yeah, I just surrender, I think, yeah. So, well played to that opponent there. Just completely wrecked me and made me look like I literally had no idea what I was doing. But, yeah, that happens sometimes. So, next battle, I think this is the last battle. This is going to be a triple confusion team, and Oranguru on the lead is a very bad core breaker for this team because we have 2 Pokemon that have ghost fast moves, and Bewear obviously takes huge damage from the confusion, so yeah, really, really rough to see one on the lead. And they're staying into this matchup, which already was scaring me that it was going to be a triple confusion line, because again, I saw that team, I saw triple confusion like 3 or 4 times in my sets the other night, so they stay in with the Oranguru, and now they bring in their second confusion user, excuse me. And I think this is actually what decides the game here. I decide to full send it. I don't know. It's normally just safer to full send it. I thought maybe they wouldn't want to give up their last shield yet, but they do shield it. And unfortunately, I only make the Avalanche onto the Hypno, and this Hypno with a little bit of health left is going to prove to be just a little bit too much for my backline. They actually don't Shadow Ball me. I'm not sure if they were running maybe like Ice Punch and Fire Punch since they're just Ice Punching me here, but that little bit of chip damage is going to be just enough for this Dragonair to get me low. And this is the Confusion Dragonair, by the way, so really cool team by the opponent, honestly. They do make their move here, and unfortunately what you're going to see is my Surf is going to KO, and I'm going to try to bring in the Bewear and get my superpower off, but I'm just not going to be able to do it. The Confusions are just going to be too oppressive, and I actually die with a move there. So yeah, GG to the opponent there. But yeah, that's the battles for today, guys. Wish me luck tomorrow with surgery. Like I said, I probably will record another video after this and show it to you guys tomorrow. I did get a really cool Master League submission with a Solgaleo, which is a pretty spicy pick, to be honest. But thank you guys for watching today's video. Just a little bit more chill, kind of laid-back video, just showing some spicy battles in the 28-2900s. I think I probably will just wait until Great League Remix comes around and then make a Legend push when that new cup comes around, because I normally don't actually push for Legend this early. It was kind of unexpected that my last team ended up doing so well, and I just kind of unintentionally gained a ton of Elo and just figured I'm so close now, I might as well just go for it instead of waiting and messing around and losing more Elo and then having to do it all over again. So that being said, guys, thank you for sticking around if you made it to the end of the video. Thank you for all the likes and support lately. The channel really has been feeling the love, and if you are not subscribed, please consider doing so, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play.